Hey guys, it's me, Jessica Hicks, and I'm doing a quick video so that I can highlight the differences between data analyst jobs and business analyst jobs. So let me put a little thing in the comments. Let's see. I just changed my password. Let me see here. Because you guys know I'm trying to be better about sharing when I am live. So I'm going to share right now. Okay. Okay. Done and done. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. What are the differences between a data analyst and a business analyst? This is going to be a pretty quick video. I'm just going to be giving a basic synopsis of each because it sounds like there's a little bit of confusion. I did have a subscriber ask me, hey, what's the difference between these and can you make a video about it? So I didn't want to go into editing a video, but I will just kind of talk about it now. So the first thing that comes to mind, and yes, I'm using notes. So I've recruited for both data analyst and business analyst. So the main thing that comes to mind with a data analyst is that these are the people that are going to be collecting data. They're going to be really reviewing the data, inspecting it. They're going to be doing data cleansing, data modeling, all kinds of things to really transform the data that they're receiving for a company. So big picture of what they're really trying to do. Oops. I'm trying to keep this camera somewhat straight. Let's see if this works. I might have to hold it. Okay, so big picture, what data analysts are trying to do is to really get the data, turn it into something that is digestible, make sure it's actual real data they're looking at, so data cleansing, and then transforming it into something that can actually be used, like real information that can be used for business decisions. So they're taking data, and if you can think about companies that have tons of data, like Facebook, for example, all these companies have so much data, but they don't know what to do with it. So a data analyst, their main job is to really collect all of that data and turn it into something that's usable. And the real moneymaker of this job and why it's so crucial to companies and why you'll see more data analyst jobs popping up and more interest for these jobs is that they are really helping the business make real decisions based off of the data. Because again, if you think about it, tons of companies have all this data and they have no idea what to do with it. Well, these are the ones that are actually doing all of that heavy work to really collect the data, cleanse the data, review the data, transform that data into something that's actually digestible and actually giving information that will actually help a president or CEO or, these different VPs of marketing teams or whatever, make real decisions that can improve the company performance, that can increase numbers for the company, increase sales, things like that, right? So that's why that role is important. Typically, salary for these type of jobs anywhere from 60,000 to 100,000, sometimes even beyond 100,000, just depending on where your skill set is. So a couple years of experience in data analyst or some transferable skills, great. Now, some of the skills that you're going to need are going to be similar to a business analyst, which I'm going to get into in a second. But main thing, Excel, Access, because obviously you're using a ton of data. You're trying to manipulate the data. Excel is great. I will say Access can be even better for extremely large amounts of data. So thinking about rows of data, thousands of rows of data if you're thinking about Excel. So they're really going to be able to take these massive amounts of data, cleanse that, transform that into something that's actually usable for the company. The other thing is definitely some visualization tools can come in handy. SQL or SQL is another skill that's really important for data analysts. And then also business objects sometimes. It really just depends on the company and the type of data that you might be using. But always, 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 you're going to need Excel and possibly Access because of the amount of data that you might get. Now, moving on to business analysts. And hello, hello, welcome in. Hey, Edward. Hey, Mr. Rounds. Hey, Sharky. So, business analysts, what is the difference between a data analyst and a business analyst? Well, the first thing is that instead of a person that is going to collect the data and really transform the data into this information that's really going to be extremely useful for the executive suite, well, they're really doing more of the work where it comes to gathering the data, right? So they're actually working with multiple teams to gather data or requirements or different information and taking that information and figuring out, okay, what can make the business more efficient? What kind of tool can we use? Seeing this data, seeing the requirements that we need for X team, let's say they're working on a marketing team. They have these concerns, they have these problems, they have this information. How can I help them? What kind of solution can we drive for them? What kind of tool can we drive for them? If we're already using a tool, how can we customize the tool to really work with this group and make better solutions for them? So kind of optimizing solutions for them, right? Making things more efficient. So instead of digging into massive amounts of data, collecting it, cleansing it, transforming it, moving it around, doing a lot of modeling and all this type of work when it comes to data, they're doing more of their work with communicating across different teams to really get the right information they need to understand what teams are dealing with, what their issues are, what their concerns are, what their goals are, and figuring out, okay, what can we do to better serve them? Like, what kind of tool can we implement? What kind of customization can we make? What can we do to better this team and drive through solutions? So, end goal for both jobs are to drive through solutions, right? But when you think of the data analyst, a lot of their time is really spent on that analysis piece of really digging into massive amounts of data and turning that into information that is usable. Whereas the business analysts, they are taking the information and yes, they will do some analysis work, but they're taking the information and really spending more of their time with gathering the information and then turning that into something that's usable that can help them determine what the solution will be, versus the data analyst doing all this data modeling and cleansing the data and all of this transformation of the data to make it visually like digestible to a CEO, for example, so that they can really make high level strategic decisions, right? So couple things business analysts typically will use, same as data analysts, they're going to need to have some Excel skills, right? SQL or SQL is going to be important. For business analysts, they may also need tools in like data visualization, like Tableau, just for one, or maybe even Power BI. So those are going to be some skills that may come in handy for them. Now, with business analysts too, you may find a lot of niche skill sets that might be needed, especially when it comes to business analysts that are focused in IT, because you'll see business analysts for like marketing teams, sales teams. But when thinking about IT and even some marketing teams, you may even see a niche skill set for whatever platform their team that they will support that they're going to use. So let's say they're working on a marketing group and the marketing team uses Salesforce. Well, they might need a business analyst that also has skills in Salesforce plus Excel plus Tableau, some other tools. So really quick, that's what I wanted to highlight. I had a question from a subscriber asking me like, hey, what is it? What is the difference? So here we go. And a really quick snapshot. Let me see. Some folks is coming in. Sharky said, Access is Excel with a prettier front end for anyone who's never used it. Yes, and I have used Excel before. I actually took a class on Excel. I didn't take that class very seriously. I will tell you that. But yes, Access was actually, yes, visually better than Excel, and you could manipulate way more data more easily. Edward says never use Access. Wow. Okay. Sharky said, cool enough, Edward. I haven't used a lot myself. A lot of CRM, client relationship management portals are based off Access. Oh, I didn't actually know that though, Sharky. That's good to know. So cool. So that's really all I wanted to come on here to talk about. Hopefully you guys are caught up on some of my videos that I've been sharing out lately. I have been trying to post a video almost every day or come on here with lives and just chit chat. But overall, that's what I want to talk about. I just wanted to come on here, provide the differences between both of these jobs. So just as a reminder, data analyst, they are really doing a lot of heavy work with digging into data, like real data. So they have to know data modeling, data cleansing, some significant tools and analysis versus business analysts. I find that can sometimes be a little easier to get into. You don't need as heavy of a data analytics focus sometimes for a business analyst. If you can talk to people a lot of the time, that might trump some of the experience if you don't have business analyst experience, right? Because we've all communicated with different teams. If you've been a project manager, for example, you've gathered requirements or you've gathered information from different teams. You've helped them maybe build some type of solution or program or something. So a lot of times that can be an easier path to get into. And both routes pay about the same. So, a few years of experience going into a data analyst role, couple years of experience going into a business analyst role, not countering any niche skill sets, right? But just taking them as they are. You'll be somewhere within a salary of 60 to 100,000. Obviously, if you're on the coast, meaning California, New York is what I'm thinking about there, you're going to make more. You're going to be more at the 100K beyond numbers, right? But then just across the United States, you'll be somewhere between 60 and 100. Again, with a few years of experience, I always say 2 to 3 years of experience within each one. So now if you have some niche skill sets like Sharky pointed out, and hello Burns. So Sharky pointed out about, CRM tools. If you have CRM experience, you have Salesforce experience, you've got different niche skill sets, maybe you have Power BI skill sets. The more skills you have, of course, you're going to typically, right? Because it's not an exact science, but typically you're going to be at a higher salary rate, right? And hey, I am doing well, Vern. Nice to see you here. And that is really the wrap up of my conversation, to be honest with you guys. If you guys didn't see my last videos, I had a controversial one. Well, kind of. So I was basically talking about the church, Black churches, holding them more accountable. And then my latest video too was about, AI, artificial intelligence, jobs that are not going to be here much longer, or there's going to be less. So you may be surprised by a couple, like truck drivers, for example. Those jobs heavily in demand. Well, there are some companies that have solutions for the lack of truck drivers. So there's going to be less of a need for truck drivers. So I talked about that in a prior video as well. Hey, Sharky is saying biz analyst as a job can definitely differ in different fields. In my experience in finance, business analyst is almost like a project manager, but even that depends on the firm. Yes. And I always say, like, when you're thinking about different jobs with business analysts, that's typically the job that's easier to get into because you do have a lot of transferable skills. For example, like the project manager. Because with a project manager, you're working across, teams a lot of the time. You're gathering requirements as well. You're keeping things on track. Similar to a business analyst, like they are also, and I will say, sometimes when you think about project managers, business analysts, their jobs can be so varied depending on what company you're working at. I'm sure we've all been at a company where it's like, okay, you have this set job title, right? But you don't do exactly that. You're kind of taking on some other skills. So you will see some business analysts that know how to program and things like that. But I would say, in comparing to a data analyst, programming skills, you're more likely to see that in a data analyst. Again, just because of the amount of data that they have. A lot of times they will have gone through some type of data analyst program, or at least come from that, programming type of background. Sometimes business analysts, especially on the IT side, you may see someone come from a programmer background, but that's typically not needed. They really the biggest part of a business analyst, and again, coming from my experience as a recruiter, recruiting multiple of these jobs, soft skills. Like, they have to be able to talk to multiple people. They've got to communicate with them. They've got to get the information they need. And they do need to be able to analyze, okay, what are the needs? How do we get there? And what's the tools that we can use to get them to driving through whatever their solution is? And Sharky, I appreciate you sharing from the financial perspective. Often in finance, it's like a go-between between a business unit and an IT department. Okay, I can see that. Yep. So you're sharing from a finance, so like business analyst for a finance team. And yeah, like, it's not always IT, definitely marketing, sales, finance, all these teams have these different roles. But yeah, I can see that too. And sometimes too, it's not even, sometimes the titles are kind of weird. Sometimes you'll even see financial liaison, and that's more of a business analyst too. It's so interesting how companies will title things. It's like, I wish we could just stick to one title. It's like, no. And for a recruiter, a big pet peeve for me is sometimes we're very constrained with how we can title a job so that people actually understand what in the world it is and what they're going to be doing from the title. But a lot of times you'll see with, especially large companies, they have very specific constraints based on what they can title things. It has to go along with the branding, it has to go along with what they have internally set up and their functional titles. And you can't always deviate from that. And so you get some of these, have you ever seen some funny titles out there where you're like, what in the world is that? And then you read the job description and you're like, oh, why didn't they just title it this? Well, it's most likely because they're, again, larger companies especially, they have a lot of constraints on what they can call things. Hey, Zero, welcome in. Greetings. Thanks for welcoming him in here. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about. Again, please do check out my video about AI, artificial intelligence, because I do want more people to see that, because I don't want anyone coming to me saying, like, in 10 years, 5-10 years, saying, oh, I didn't know that my job was going to be replaced by AI, or I didn't know I would be affected by AI, or Jessica, why didn't you say anything about this? Well, I am. It is dated, time stamped, and everything. I want everyone on my channel to know what's coming, and I don't want it to be completely negative. I do think artificial intelligence will allow for some positives in our lives and in the workplace, but there's also going to be, obviously, with any technical advancement, a lot of jobs they're gone, like they are replaced. So, and then there are going to be new jobs, but it will require skills. So for all these folks that, again, I hear people say this, I don't want to take on new skills. I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to learn this. We're going to have to learn. We're going to have to. So anyway, with that, oh, hey, JMJ. Edward said, are you sure about truck drivers being replaced? Edward, okay, so I have to ask you, did you watch my video about the jobs that will be replaced by AI? There is a company called Embark. And I'm not going to say all truck driver jobs, right? But let's think about self-driving cars for a minute. So we already know about Tesla, but there's another company called Embark they are working on right now changing the truck driving industry to where one person will drive a truck, right? One human will drive a truck. And it will be a platoon setup to where they will lead a series of other trucks that will be self-driving. So if you think about that and you think about how in-demand truck drivers are now, well, there's going to be a lot less demand if a company can say, oh, I don't have to pay truck drivers, or I don't have, and there are issues that like, if you talk to anyone in HR and they're working for a logistics company, whew, they have their issues. So they don't have to deal with the employee issues. They don't have to deal with someone just saying, I'm not showing up, or all these things, right? I can just pay one solid person. Like, I know this guy is a good driver or this girl's a good driver. I can pay them, and then I can use Embark, and I can have a whole fleet of self-driving trucks behind them. Why would I pay for truck drivers? Why wouldn't I just pay for the amount I need? So just like if you think about manufacturing, hundreds of thousands of jobs left in manufacturing in just specific cities, right? Because of the machines that we could use. Well, that is also going to shift a lot of different functions. So truck drivers are one. I also included things like, obviously pretty straightforward ones like fast food and store clerks and things like that in that video. So I talk a little more in depth. I also reference an article put out by Fortune as well. And again, I just don't want people to be blindsided. Now, when you don't need as many people too, I would say if there isn't less of a need, or they don't just get rid of the jobs, they're going to decrease the compensation. Like, if you don't need people as much, obviously there's a decrease in compensation. Or if you have more supply than demand, right, the compensation comes down. That's the whole thing about IT. Why programmers are paid what they're paid. It's not because they have this extremely difficult job. It's just that people have not generally gone to take courses in coding and programming. So the skill sets haven't been there. But if you had as many people that study marketing and communications and sales studying coding and programming, IT wouldn't be what it is today, as far as like the demand and the compensation rates and things like that. If there was an abundance of people in the field, probably not. Same with, like, doctors compared to nurses. You can't say nurses are more important than doctors necessarily. It's just that more people are willing to go to a 4-year college and become a nurse, and they still have a shortage, right? Than those that are willing to, essentially go to school for like 10 years to become a doctor, right? And pay more money for that doctorate degree. So it's just supply and demand. I wonder how big companies are going to feel when AI is demanding rights in the workplace. You know what's funny? Zero. I was looking at this. Let me pull this up. I'm not going to show it, but I just want to read you what it says. Because I was just looking at something that was a little bit, I don't want to say scary, but it was a little, I don't even, like, cringe. It was like a little cringe. Made me kind of stop and think. So, self-aware AI. So there's different types of artificial intelligence, or AI. One in particular is called self-aware AI. This type of AI is a thing of the future. So it is in development, right? Whenever I say thing of the future, I don't think it hasn't gotten here yet. I just think they're working on it. A self-aware AI will have an independent intelligence, and it will make its own decisions. Let me say that again. A self-aware AI will have an independent intelligence. Independent intelligence. Right? And it will make its own decisions. These machines will be smarter than the human mind. No, isn't that scary? Because we know it's coming, but it's like, whew, it's like, oh. There's also theory of mind. Theory of mind can connect with human thoughts and interpret them better. The AI can understand people and have thoughts and emotions of its own. These AI machines are still hypothetical, but researchers are making many efforts to develop such AI machines. Again, it's in the works. If people are writing about it, and this is from Savion.com, and they were just kind of walking through what is AI, what is machine learning, what's a robot, all these different things. Yeah, it's there. They might zero. Oh, ever you haven't watched it? Uh-oh, you gotta watch it. I thought it was, I mean, it was good. It was good. We actually looked at a video as well. So, let me see here. Jessica, speaking of AI, did you see the 60-minute segment on Sunday regarding Boston Robotics? No, I didn't. If not, check it out on their website or app, 60-minute overtime. Cool, but freaky stuff. Huh. Wow. I'll have to check it out for sure. They had a whole gang of robots dancing to the mashed potato. Okay, you know what? My mom must have, okay, Sharky. My mom must have seen this because she was talking to me today. I called her a little earlier, like, I think right when I wrapped up work. And she was mentioning AI because I've talked to her about it. I talk to my mom pretty much every day. And she was like, yeah, the robots are dancing and stuff now. And I'm just like, I didn't really pay her any mind. I'm just like, oh, okay. Because I've seen it. I've seen them dance and I've seen them rap and I've seen them doing interviews, as we saw in the video before. The girl, Michaela, is doing that interview just like a real human. Facial expressions, tone of voice, inflections, it just creepy stuff, right? But yeah, she was mentioning that to me. So she must have seen that same thing. Cause she was like, yeah, they're even dancing. I'm like, what in the world? So yeah, they're coming for the entertainment industry. And then we already had the holograms. We already had the holograms, like Coachella, seeing Tupac. Well, it's just gonna increase from there. They had a whole gang of robots dancing to the mashed potato. My goodness. Hey, partly cloudy. Hey, hey, hey. So I've kind of talked about what I wanted to talk about, which was just difference between data analyst and business analyst. So we're just kind of having a little chit chat. Oh, what's up with my eye? Let's have a little chit chat. Um, but yeah, so the whole Tesla self-driving cars, they fall in the category of limited memory. So this type of AI can store existing data and create better output by using the data. So like Tesla looking at the speed of other cars, right? Crazy. And they act like they move according to whatever they're seeing with the data of the other cars. So if they're seeing a car maybe, I don't know, slow down in front of them, they're going to slow down, right? It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Crazy times. But yeah, so again, I don't want anyone to get blindsided by that. The other thing, I got asked a question about what are some of the skill sets that are going to be, I guess, still needed. Definitely a lot of tech. So I think more and more of the customer service jobs are going to go away. We talked about that. We talked about some of the businesses like Amazon, GM, all these businesses that are implementing like Amazon Go Store, where you don't really need as many customer service reps in a store. You can just have like a Siri like thing ask you, do you need any help? And they help you. That is super annoying to me sometimes. Like I am the type of person where I need human interaction. I'm like, I just want to talk to a person. Like, you ever try to call, like, I don't know, your bank or whoever, and it's like you're just pushing any button just to try to get a person, and you just keep pushing a button because I'm like, I just want to talk to a real human. Or maybe it's just me. I am totally that way. Like you guys know with self checkout, I like people to interact with, especially right now. But yeah, I like interacting with people. Plus, again, germaphobe. I think touching the screen and stuff. It's like I don't know who else's hands have been there. I can just give it to you, and then I can wipe the stuff down when I get home that you touched. Partly Cloudy is saying, speaking of cars, did you find one yet? I did find one. I'll give an update soon. But yes, I did partly. I did find one. Thank you for checking. But yeah, so anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. But yeah, back to what I was going into because I got off into a tangent. But some of the skills that are going to be needed, again, I talked about cybersecurity, definitely. Anyone that's skilled in machine learning, specifically artificial machine learning, they're going to be important. Robotics, digital marketing is still going to be a thing. I do foresee that continuing, right? And then I mentioned Internet of Things, so IoT. I think that is still going to be very much needed. Now, I did talk about the legal profession and will that be as needed over the course of 10, 15 years? Yeah, I think there will be specific jobs needed for like if you think about AI and who controls AI and what if we're talking about these machines thinking of their own, well someone's going to own the robots, right? And so who's going to keep them legally safe? Like in if a machine goes haywire, well, can I sue the owner of that machine? Like how does that kind of work? So I think a lot of legal jobs will pop up as well because of this. And I think obviously Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, digital cash, all of that is going to stay too. I would see that really growing over the next 10 years as well. Edward said, yes, it's frustrating sometimes talking to a computer. Yes. Edward, you feel my pain. I sometimes just like, like, I get it. We're trying to save money here, but I just need to talk to a human. Friday Play said, nice. Frankie says, when you call a company and get those ridiculous phone menus, just say representative until they put you through to an actual human. That's my trick, and I use the words. Oh, you know what? I never say that. I think I always just push 0. I always just keep pushing 0. Or like if it doesn't give me the option after I push 0, I'll just start pushing buttons until it gets super confused. And then it'll be like, one moment while I put you through to a representative or whatever it says. And I'm just like, yes. I win. Oh my goodness. But yes, they are too much sometimes. Zero said, I just listened to what you said to my question earlier. I'm not worried about it. AI will be smarter to a basic human being, so that doesn't apply to me. You know what? I think, I don't know. Like when I think about anything that man creates, so any machine, again, one flaw is going to be the fact that these machines are going to be hackable. So how do you protect them? And then the other part will be the battery life. So they've got to have this unlimited battery source. Otherwise, they're going to have to be recharged. So there's going to be some period of time where they're not going to work unless, there's something creative. Maybe they're like the machines that we talked about, where it's like the security guards, the robo security guards that these companies are implementing. I believe it said that they are rechargeable from sunlight. So maybe they never really get old. But then 2, they're made out of metals and things. So if we think about the metals that are needed for these machines, well, we have to make sure those are still in existence. Where do we get these metals? A lot of times we get the metals from Africa. You get a lot of materials out of Africa, specifically different metals. So we're going to need access to those to produce these robots. And then also, how do we keep them from breaking down? Like these machines malfunction, programs malfunction. So a lot of that, I don't think it will be perfected over the course of 5 years, 10 years, unless a lot of this stuff is even further than from what I could tell in the article. So I don't think it'll be perfected. So we're still going to need people that can program and that can fix machines and that have some type of mechanical background. So I do think those skills will be in demand. Now, I did see an article, I can't remember where, but it was talking about robots programming other robots. So the robots that we create, programming. And so it gets into that whole idea of the learning, the machine learning. So this self-aware AI, independent intelligence, right? And they have that ability to learn. Who knows? Edward is like iRobot. I keep telling you guys, man, that's the only way human race is going to unify is if it's like iRobot, we've got to like kind of band together against the robots or something. Sharky said 0. Well, excuse us. Just kidding, man. I know, exactly, 0. The average or the basic human being. Well, I guess we're all basic. But no, I mean, I think smart in some ways. Maybe there are going to be ways that the AI won't be as intelligent as human. Who knows? Hey, Paulindo, welcome in. How are you? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, is what Paulindo's saying. Paulindo, yes, you are a little bit late. So the other thing, I might have to just do a second video to this, but there's this thing called humanoid robots. It's more what we looked at, right, with Michaela. So the robots that can perform human-like activities. They look like humans. They mimic human action. So we looked at that influencer model, Michaela, how she was in that interview. Like a human. Taking pictures like a human. One of my friends actually had been following Michaela for a long time. And she's like, yeah, it's creepy. I'm like, you're following her now? So yeah, so those, and then also there's teleoperated, if I can say it right, robots. So humans will control these robots and they will perform tasks in extreme conditions where humans cannot operate. So there's an example of how these robots will make things better for us. So something that I skipped over talking about in the last video was the other jobs they were saying would be replaced by robots or going to be the first in line soldiers. They did show pictures of the machines. So I don't know if they're already in use or if there's more, 5-10 years from now. But yeah, so possibly won't need as many troops, or at least not the first line troops in times of war. So maybe there will be a time where it's more about who has the biggest artillery or robots or who can hack. Like what if, oh my gosh, this is a little scary. So what if countries are working to hack different military robots? So instead of that whole espionage of trying to infiltrate into governments and get their data, they're trying to infiltrate the robots. So that way, in times of maybe war or whatever, they can reprogram the bots. And instead of having them target the other opposing side, they would target their own side. Isn't that scary? So there is definitely going to be a lot of jobs I foresee in cybersecurity. Definitely, because you're going to have to make sure that these robots we're creating are not going to be hacked by other countries, right? It's a little scary. And then the other type of robot, right, is going to be autonomous robots. These are independent robots that do not require human intervention. Right? Scary. I don't know how I feel about that. So one example they provided was the Roomba vacuum cleaner. So the Roomba, it uses its own sensors to roam around. So we don't actually have to control anything. It's automated. It knows what it needs to do. And then Oh, this is kind of weird. So we have something called augmenting robots. Augmenting robots enhance human capabilities by replacing the ineffective part. Some examples of augmenting robots are prosthetic limbs and exoskeletons. So I didn't even think about that. So if you like, have you ever thought about what is that show? Movie, Guardians of the Galaxy. Has anyone seen that movie other than me? So basically, one of the characters in that movie is made out of machine, and so I keep saying there's this interaction between humans. There's a push for us to be more interactive with these robots and machines. Like I keep referring to that Bella Hadid or Gigi Hadid, whoever that model is. I showed the video of her interacting with Michaela, the robot, and they're doing an ad. And Bella or Gigi Hadid kisses the robot. Like she kisses the robot. So there's going to be a lot of things going on. I can see the legalities now. Like, oh my goodness. Are they going to push it to where we're literally working alongside robots? Who knows? If she's already working alongside a robot, she's doing a whole ad with Michaela, the robot. So it's going to be interesting. But I thought about that because you have this girl that's literally made out of machine, like her whole body is machine, although it's a person. So we're thinking about it, they're talking about prosthetic limbs, but yeah, you see things like, and these are movies, but come on, you guys know me. If it's a movie, that means it's being manifested. So maybe in the future, you lose an arm, you get a prosthetic, whatever, and maybe it has some extra capabilities that you can add onto it. Who knows? Okay, I'm missing comments. So sorry. So sorry. Paolindo, I'm fine. What about you? I'm good, Paolindo. Hey. And are you eating dinner, Paolindo? Because we used to talk about food and stuff when you joined. Thank you. Yes, please do thumbs up the live. Share if you know someone else that's interested. Sharky said Star Wars envisioned armies of robots fighting each other. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. Yes, Star Wars envisioned the armies. Mm-hmm. That is so true. The Clone Wars. Yes, I've seen that. That is, yes. Yeah, I should be wearing my Star Wars shirt. Okay, one day we're just going to talk about AI, and I'm going to wear my Star Wars shirt. I don't know why I keep saying it. It sounds like shorts. I'm saying shirt. I promise. But yes, you're so right, Sharky. Oh my goodness. Edward saw the movie. So Edward knows who I'm talking about then. I can't remember the girl's name, but she's all machine. Because her dad, every time she messes up something, he would take like her arm or whatever and replace it with a machine because thinking it would perform better. So who knows? Maybe there will be people. Gosh, we already have people saying their nose is wrong. My eyes are wrong. My cheeks are wrong. My lips are wrong. Everything's wrong. And they're already getting replacements of their body. Well, what if, athletes are saying, or whoever is saying, well, I want to be able to do, I don't know, I want to be able to fly. Can you give me wings? I want to get wings, or my legs are too this. I want prosthetics so I can do X, Y, and Z. I could see that coming. I really could. I could see that happening. Can't you? I mean, because we're already replacing things. I say we, not me, not you, but people, all right, are already replacing body parts. So what's the difference with a metal part? Who knows? So that may change even, the cosmetics industry. Doctors are already using robots for their tasks. They don't have to actually physically be in the doctor's office for some things. They can use a robot. That when I got, well, you guys don't know this about me, but I had braces and I got clear braces. And one thing that the dentist, but I know there's another word for it, but he said I could do these that will be behind my teeth, and he would use a robot. He would use a robot to do it because it would be perfect. Perfect. Because the robot. So, and that was years ago. That was like 2015, 2016. Um, oh, let me go back up to your comment. Zero said, if you really think about the movie I, Robot, I actually have the book on it as well. The reason that the robots turned on humanity was because they were tired of being treated as slaves. You know what? That's a good point, Zero, because, and again, I don't know if anyone's seen the show on Amazon, Humans, but we have it. It literally talks about. It's funny that it's on Amazon Prime, right? Because they would be the one that would have these robots. Um, they'll be the main ones, like in their warehouses. Oh, you're getting replaced by a bot. Sorry, goodbye. Um, but they have it where you have these robots called Sense. They look, act, do everything that humans can do, but they're robots. And they gain consciousness and they realize that they are slaves to the humans. They're doing everything for the humans. And they don't have any other rights. And they want their rights. So it's interesting. Sharky said Guardians are cool. I hated that they killed off Gamora. Yes, they did. Oh, so with some of these movies, there's probably going to be some type of workaround. I know, like the Soul, what's it called? The little pebble, the Infinity Stone, the Soul Stone. It's like it's a forever thing, but who knows? She might be back. But yeah, it was so sad. I really like her, and I like the actress. I like Zoe Saldana. One robot taught by the human was the one able to guide the rest of the robots in the right direction. Interesting. I'm trying to remember iRobot too. I remember, but only vaguely. Vaguely. I have to rewatch it. Gamora was never killed in the comics. Oh well, she's probably coming back. She'll come back. We'll see. Sharky says, Zero, very interesting. I didn't know that. I guess Zoe Saldana's contract was up. So, right, she had to do that movie where she put the prosthetic nose on so she could play Nina Simone. Maybe that's why. I feel some kind of weight about that. Paulindo's saying, robots. The only one good robot was Bender of Futurama. I have only seen Futurama like a few episodes when I was a kid. I don't remember anyone in that. I remember the robot. They did have a robot. Zero says replacing body parts or replacing body like in Ghost in the Shell. Oh, I don't know what that means. I don't know. Oh, so here's the other thing. Yeah. Okay. So here's the other thing folks have been bringing up is this idea of, and another show on Amazon actually delved into this, but the whole idea of your consciousness, right? And your spirit or whatever, can you put that into an AI or a robot or some online database to where you can live on? Because people don't want to die. People are working on how can we continue living if we can't physically keep this body, right? Then how can we keep our consciousness and maybe move it into something else? I'm kind of thinking about the movie Get Out too. That had the premise of that too. They were taking the Black people's bodies. Well, the girl was scheming and luring the people in, no matter what gender, she was luring them in. And they were transferring the consciousness into the Black person's body. And the other person's consciousness was somewhere, but it was in that sunken place. So it was very interesting that is something that we're working on. And maybe technology, maybe that's why we're trying to blend the two, the humanity with technology, because that might be the end goal of how they think that they are going to let people live on. Who knows? I know this has gone way deeper than what you guys know where we started with this conversation: business analysts versus data analysts. And I know I started it because I was bringing up AI, artificial intelligence. So I know it's a mess. But there's a lot more to unpack with AI and the robotics it is a little scary. But again, all these people that are like, oh, I'm just going to go work at Amazon. I mean, Amazon is now an IT leader. I don't think people understand it yet, but Amazon is IT. It's an IT business now. So I will be looking, and I'm going to be like, I told y'all so. I told y'all. When Amazon is like, yeah, y'all getting replaced by these robots. They're going to do all the assembly, packaging, all that stuff. We're going to have these drones travel. We don't need you to drive the truck anymore. We don't need you, the Amazon trucks that drive around the city. You see them. Yeah, we don't need you anymore. We're going to have these drones just deliver them directly. We good. Peace. We're good. Y'all want to raise these wages? You know what? That's fine. You can raise them. We're just gonna get our robots to do it. Bye, y'all. Like I'm telling you that's gonna happen. They're gonna start trickling in these bots, and they're gonna be doing all that packaging work, all that little driving work. I'm telling you, 10 years. Just think about how much innovation happens in a course of 10 years. It is gonna happen. Zero says Ghost in the Shell was an anime show. Oh, okay. I'm not super big in anime. Altered Carbon. I need to check out that. I've heard that mentioned before, but I haven't seen that show or the movie. I don't know if it's a movie or show. It had the premise of immortality that you talked about. Really? Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out now. There are a bunch of shows that are talking about it. So you guys know, if we are making movies about it, if we're seeing rappers that are AI robots, it's happening. Like it's manifesting. We're already doing it. It's just a way of kind of showing you in a more digestible way, like, hey, this is coming. Sharky saying, I thought you meant Ghost in the Shell, the Scarlett Johansson movie. Oh, I don't know any of those guys. I love Scarlett Johansson though, but no, I haven't even seen that movie. Ghost in the Shell. I didn't know, what is that even about? Ghost in the Shell. Because Scarlett Johansson, she doesn't really do sci-fi type of stuff. She's more, I've only seen her in the Avengers and like a lovey-dovey type of movie. And so this other one is kind of weird. Oh my gosh, yeah, robots are coming for us, man. Okay, so this one is robotic process automation, or RPA. It allows the robot to integrate with human interactions and execute business processes just like humans. RPA enables the robots to manipulate business applications, interpret and communicate with systems to automate repetitive tasks. RPA robots can operate tasks non-stop at a faster rate than humans. Their precision and reliability are unparalleled. Most organizations are implementing AI and other technological advancements in many areas, starting from manufacturing, which I've already talked about. I've talked about the digital factories. So all these, again, folks that are like, I'm going to get a factory job, just don't let that be the end goal. It can't be the end goal because digital factories are coming. But so manufacturing to customer management, yes. The introduction of technology has made some rapid changes in the way we work, ideally automation, blah, 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 blah. So this section is saying, will robots take our jobs? And this is the quote I found where Fortune said robots will replace 40% of jobs in the next 15 years. I've also seen 60%. So, and then according to World Intelligence Congress, AI, virtual personal assistants, and chatbots will replace almost 69% of the manager's workload by 2024. Wild. I don't get why people are so excited about raising minimum wage, because Once it's raised, then everything gets raised up because it's the bare minimum. Oh yeah, the companies don't take on the cost when the wages are increased. What happens is they will figure out how they're going to take on that cost by the customer paying for it, so slightly higher prices. And I don't know if you've already seen this. I mean, inflation is happening. If you've gone to the store, just look at some of, like, really look at the products that you're picking up at the grocery store and look at the size. Like, just look at the size of the items. Look at how full things are, like bags of chips, how full they are, cases of fruit, how full they actually are, and the sizing. Because you will notice they think people don't pay attention, and sometimes people don't. A lot of people are on autopilot, kind of. We're looking at our phone, we're not paying attention. We're thinking about this because we're so busy, right? But if you really pay attention to some things in the stores, you're going to see either the price has changed, or if the price hasn't changed by much, you're going to see that the amount that you're getting for the same price, or even maybe still an inflated price, is less. So yes, that's going to be more and more. If they increase the minimum wage, again, we're already seeing the bots. You go to Walgreens, you go to Target, you go to Walmart, there are less people that are going to be working, stocking shelves, checking out people, more self-checkout. It's happening. It's slowly happening, but it'll be there soon. And then you think about the restaurants. We talked about this before. For the fast food stuff, you order your own stuff. You order your own food. You go to Panera, you can order your own stuff at a kiosk. That stuff is just going to increase. Unless, now this is the way that it would stop, is if patrons of these stores we literally said, we don't want it. We don't want the bots. We don't use the bots. And we only go to the people. Or we start complaining, or we stop going to these stores that have more of the bots. But again, people like convenience, so I don't see that really happening. There was a movie based off of the anime or an anime a few years ago, Sharky. Jessica Scarlett's been doing a number of AI type movies in between Black Widow stuff. Check out Lucy and Underskin. Oh, I've never even heard of that one. I did hear about Lucy. Okay, I forgot about Lucy. That's right. I didn't know that was AI. I thought that was more like she was just this superhuman. Is that the one, like she was blonde in that one? But I thought she was just like a superhuman. I didn't know that was AI. Cool. Under the Skin as well as Ghost. Lucy is really good. I think you like it. Okay, I will check that one out. Thank you, Sharky. Sharky says not so much AI movies, maybe, but science fiction fantasy. Okay, there we go. Yeah, science fiction and fantasy. Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess I only recognize Scarlett Johansson in the Avengers, but I might just be used to seeing her there. And then if she's in something else, I'm just like, meh. Because you guys know I'm very big into Marvel and action movies, and then if it's something else, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I might watch it. Maybe I won't. I'm kind of that way with romantic stuff. I'm just like, that's cute. maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I won't. What else? Let me see if there's anything else in here that I should call out while I've got you guys. I think I've already talked about a lot of this stuff. Oh my gosh. So, okay, the head of the UK or United Kingdom military stated that autonomous robots could soon form a quarter of the British Army by 2030. What? Oh my gosh, that's scary. I mean, they're already being used, but like they're gonna form a quarter, could soon form a quarter of the British Army by 2030. We're already in 2021. It's just 9 years. And if the UK is doing it, the US is doing it. If the US is doing it, you better believe Russia, China, and North Korea is doing it. And again, in my mind, I'm just thinking about these robots, again, if they're connected to internet, which I would imagine they would have to be, they're hackable. Like they're hackable. They can. That does not make me does not make me feel any better. Does not make me. So, are we even going to need spies at this point? We just hacked the robot. Mission accomplished. Like that's scary. Anyway, Lucy feeds into AI, but I can't explain it without giving away the ending. So now you have to watch it. Sharky's over here making me watch Lucy. Okay, that's fair. I feel you, Sharky. So it sounds like a good movie. I remember when I saw the the trailer for it. I remember thinking like, oh, that's cool, but I guess I just wasn't as interested in it as other things I was watching. Again, I'm big into Star Wars. I'm big into Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mandalorian now. At the time, I think I was watching Walking Dead. So I didn't even realize The Walking Dead still comes on TV. I'm like, what? Like they haven't ended that by now? Like what is going on? What are they fighting off? Let me see. Okay, I think I'm good. Wait a minute. They put clergymen on this list. They said a clergy needs to have the power to guide and preach to his audience. He should have empathy, emotion, and faith to inspire other people. One cannot teach a robot to instill confidence in other human beings, but it would be amusing to see an AI-enabled priest in the future. Well, I wouldn't think that there could be an AI-enabled robot that creates their own rap music. FN Mika or Nika. Like, I would never think that could be replaceable. So that's something they're saying is not replaceable, but like they're saying 12 jobs that AI can't replace. They're saying human resource managers. Yay! I'm like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That could still be a possibility. But yeah, can you imagine a robot, like you having a disagreement between a coworker and they're like, go see HR, and then it's a robot? Like what? So they're saying a company's human resource department will always need a human to manage interpersonal conflict. Humans possess non-cognitive and reasoning skills. Robots cannot understand human emotions yet. Hence, this job won't be replaced by bots soon. This sector will grow 9% by 2024. The likelihood that robots take over the sector is 0.55%. That's good news, at least. Zero said hacking as far as human beings, I would say, is propaganda. So they're just going to be hacking robots, though. They're not going to have to hack humans. Come on, we're already hacking humans. We have so many advertisements on our phone. We've been programmed by the computer. We're being programmed by the music. There's so much subconscious things that we don't even see. So much product placement. Like when you're watching television or something, there's so much product placement. Like when someone just is like eating food and they grab a bag of chips and it's Doritos on there. Product placement. And it's stuff you don't really notice, which I pick up on it just because I'm like interested in marketing. And I'm just like, oh, product placement right there. I wonder how much they paid for that. But yeah, we're being programmed. We have been programmed from since we were pretty much born. Like the whole idea of school, setting you up for school. You're working or you're going to school for a set number of hours. You do homework later, and then you do it all over the next day, Monday through Friday. Sounds like work. Monday through Friday, daytime activities. You go home. Sometimes you wrap up some other things at work, go to sleep, do it all over again, Monday through Friday. Program. In my perspective. Jessica, that you see the season finale. I'm not caught up on Mandalorian. I only saw season 1. I'm not caught up. So no spoilers. No spoilers. Let me see my baby Yoda. Creativity would take something more and not just gathering information. Yeah, I agree. Like I mean, you would think that creative services, making graphics, writing, making music, all of that would not be, able to. But now they're making like digital art and things like that. So it's kind of blurring the line right now. Sharky says, I love The Walking Dead, but trailed off in season 7. I don't even remember what was season 7. The last thing I remember was Negan was terrorizing everybody and he had killed off everyone, and kept thinking that Negan, someone was gonna take him down, and he was still there. Like no one got rid of that guy. Great actor, by the way. That actor, I can't think of his name right now, but he's a great actor. I guess either I need to try to catch up or just give up. Just give it up. But then at the same time, it's like you might as well see it through, right? If you got through season 7, like you got further than I did. Great acting and storytelling, though, if one can look past the gore. Yes, it's really gory. But I mean, zombies. If someone watched that and was surprised, like Game of Thrones, you could be surprised at the amount of just gore and everything else that's in there, because it's about kingdom and stuff, so you may not imagine as much. But Walking Dead, zombies, come on. You know what you're getting yourself into. Zero says, understanding human emotions. It reminds me of Data from Star Trek. I'm not a Trekkie. I don't know anything about Star Trek. Womp, womp, womp. I really don't. I know, what's the guy with the ears? Captain Kirk and the guy with the ears. That's all I know about Star Trek. I was like one or the other. Like I was Star Wars, and I think I was a Star Wars fan because my brother introduced me to Star Wars, and then I just got kind of hooked. Like I was watching all the series and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Plus, I joined, and I think I had a crush on the guy. What was the guy's name? Anakin. The actor that played Anakin, I was like, ooh, look at him. When he was older, like I know he was like a kid, and then he got older, right? And then he turned into Darth Vader later in life. But I was like, oh, he's cute. And then kind of drew me in. But yeah, he drew me in as a little kid. I was like, oh, this kid, he's going to make it. And then he turned evil. I was like, oh, great. And then then he finally saw the light at the end. Oh, Mr. Spock. Yes, Mr. Spock with the pointy ears. Duh. But yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of Star Trek, but I've just never gotten into it. I just haven't. And hey, House of X, nice to see you. How are you tonight? We're just kind of wrapping up. I've already talked about what I want to talk about. We're just having a little chit chat about random things, AI and Star Wars, and just the craziness of what's going to happen over the next 10 years. But yeah, some of our jobs, they do have human resource managers. We're going to make it. Writers, lawyers, chief executives, scientists, and clergymen. So the pastors and the priests, they're going to make it. They are going to make it. The lawyers are going to make it, and the writers and the HR folks they're going to make it. And I didn't know it had that before I scrolled down. I did not know. But that's nice to see. We'll see. I don't know. Who knows? But I will say, I can't imagine, like, just thinking about all the HR issues I've had in the past, I can't imagine a robot being like, yeah, we're going to need you to dress appropriately in the workplace. Like, I don't know. I just can't see it. I'm not a Trekkie. I'm all about the wars. Okay, cool, Zero. Love it. Yeah, Star Wars is where it's at. But I know my brother's in the Star Trek too. I do like I like the outfits. There was some guy, Barry's friend, Barry Johnson, who's normally on some of my lives. Who's this? He has a friend that's also a YouTuber, and his like background was Star Trek. I was like, oh, that's cool. So although I'm not into Star Trek like that, I can appreciate the visuals. It's cool. All right. So I've been on here an hour. It's probably time for it's probably time to go. Does anyone have any questions? Any topics I didn't hit on? Anything I didn't mention before I get off of here? But this was a good discussion. I appreciate it, guys. I didn't know we were gonna go from data analyst versus business analyst to Star Trek and Mandalorian and all this stuff. So that was fun. And what am I talking about tomorrow? Let me just check real quick. Oh, right. Right. Okay. Tomorrow I am going to be talking about LinkedIn. I'm bringing that back to the table because I want to make sure people know how they can find jobs. So this, I don't know if it'll be for this audience. We can definitely have a chit chat after. But yeah, I want to showcase that again, just to quickly say like, hey, here's how you find, like if you're looking for remote jobs or whatever jobs, you need to use LinkedIn, and just walking through a tutorial. So I'm going to try to do that tomorrow. Let's see. Sharky said, Jessica and Zero, the original Star Trek TV series was in many ways better than the movies and later TV series. Really? The original one? When was the original created? Because I can only think of, I know, is it Chris Pine? I saw him, a guy, he's cute too. Chris Pine played Captain Kirk. I knew that because I like Chris Pine-ish. Depends on his, like, what he's doing in his look and what show he's on and all that stuff. Zero says how big. Thank you, Zero. Zero says how you stay so beautiful. Water, lots of water, green tea, and minding my business. Yes. Thank you, Edward. Yes, please thumbs up, share. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Sharky saying, Jessica, you're thinking of Eric from Easy Computer Solutions channel. Oh, okay, yes. Yes. He dresses in a Star Trekky suit. Yes, that is so true. Yes, I'm thinking about him. I was like, what is that? But I was like, it's cool. And he's talking about Star Trek and everything. I was like, that is so cool. Zero says, oh yeah, and in season 2 of The Mandalorian, Baby Yoda's name is No! Don't tell me. An old Star Wars character returns to the show. An old Star Wars character. So that means they passed away. Huh. I wonder who. Ooh, is it it has to be a Jedi. It has to be a Jedi. The original Star Wars or Star Trek ran from 1966. Whoa, 1968, I think. That's old William Shatner and Leonard. I don't even know what these people look like. Hold on. One minute. William Shatner. Oh, let me see what he looked like when he was younger. I'm trying to envision it, guys. I'm like, oh, okay. He looks, yeah, okay. Yeah, because that first photo, I was like, oh. You guys know I can't hide stuff on my face. I can't. And then the other person is Leonard Nimoy. Oh, rest in peace. Oh, okay. Let me look up him. Oh man, he's 90 years old. William Shatner is 90. I mean, looks good for 90. Wow. Okay, Leonard Nimoy. I've never heard of that guy's name. I've heard of William Shatner. Like, that name at least rang a bell. Interesting. Oh yeah, that is him. That is with the. I've seen that guy before with the ears. Yeah, 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 yeah. He's an interesting looking person. Well, rest in peace. But yeah, I guess I'll check out the original. Thanks, Sharky. No, they haven't passed away, but this character was from the movies and now in the show, just giving me a reason to check out the next season. Oh, I don't need a reason to check out next season. I already have it on my list. Like next week, it is on. I have so many shows I am ready to watch. Gonna have a little more time next week. So yes. So I will be on here probably a little. I might pop up a little bit during the day next week as I can, just depending. And yes, yes, I'm definitely watching The Mandalorian because I will have more time. Um, Sharky, Sharky's like Shatner's like 90 now. The man will live forever. Yeah, but he looked good back in the day. He looked pretty nice, you know. I was like, because I was like the first picture. I was just like, mm-hmm. But yes, Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk always looks nice, and then they do the other guy. I already forgot what he's called, but they do him all wrong. I'm like, why does he always look a little interesting looking? Like, what? Why can't he be super handsome too? So with that, did I check out the Falcon and the Winter Soldier yet? No. Well, I don't even know what that is. Let me see. You guys got me looking up all kinds of stuff. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What is this about? Oh yeah. So okay. A confession. Confession. I like I like the Avengers, right? But one of my least favorite Avengers is actually Captain America. I love Captain America and everything he stands for, patriotism, he's a gentleman, yada yada yada. He's like all that great stuff. But he was like the most boring of the Avengers. Like I watched Captain America and everything, but like out of all of them, it was just like, oh. I my favorite Avenger was Thor. So Thor number one, not just because he's gorgeous, the actor is gorgeous, but the storyline and everything was just very enticing. All the characters lined up. His personality is just like obnoxious, and it keeps you interested. But the next one will probably be, I think it's always been Iron Man. Again, obnoxious personality, super, smart aleck guy, but just inviting type of personality kept you interested. And then, of course, I liked, Black Widow. I liked the Hulk. Initially, I didn't like the Hulk, but I was drawn into the Hulk as well. But yeah, Captain America just, I don't know. I just couldn't really get into it. But the guy that is taking his place, I think I might watch it because I do want to see what they do with his character. I am interested in seeing that. I know is it out right now? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put that on my list for next week to watch because I do Anthony Mackie, I feel like he might make the character bring a little bit more out of character because I'm telling you, Captain America was kind of boring. You're thinking of Captain Picard. That's the bald British actor, Patrick. I'm sorry, who am I thinking of? You're thinking of Captain Picard. That's the bald British Patrick Stewart. Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Patrick Picard? Let me see. I'm bad with celebrities. Oh. Huh. I don't know. Zero saying Falcon, when he became Captain America, was so much better than Steve Rogers in the comics. I don't know why they switched them back. Oh. I don't know. I think it'll be better. I do. I think it'll be a better storyline. We'll see. Have you seen it, Zero? I'm interested. I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it. But yeah, it just wasn't the Captain America storyline, it just was like boring. And then I mean, it was he was so sweet. Like, you definitely like Captain America, but it's nothing outstanding. Like, nothing that really makes them memorable outside of the whatever that thing is, the shield, Captain America's shield, and the patriotism, right? You like him for that. He's very patriotic. Do whatever for the country, do the right thing, treat people right, Mr. Gentleman, like all those great qualities that like the ideal man is like someone took everything and was like, bam, this is him. This is the ideal man we want. But it is kind of boring. It's kind of boring. So they just should have sprinkled a little splash of Thor, put that in there, or a little splash of Iron Man, put that in there, and perfect. Even Doctor Strange. I like Doctor Strange better, but maybe it's because of that snarky personalities that just, it's like you kind of don't like them, but then you really like them. It's weird. Zero said, yeah, I seen it. It was awesome. You did? Okay. Okay, now I want to watch it. Chris Pine must be the younger Star Trek guy you're thinking of. Yeah. Took over the actual Captain Kirk role in the rebooted movies. Yeah. No, yeah, I only knew about Chris Pine. Yeah. So I was like, ooh, Chris Pine. Okay, hello. I told you guys I have a crush on him, or had. Like, again, it depends on the movie. Because sometimes Chris Pine, he played in some movie. Was it The Hangover? It was something. And I was just kind of like, I don't really like the personality. But generally, like, in the looks department, thumbs up. Zero saying the Falcon had a better storyline in the comics. Even Bucky had a better storyline when he was Captain America for a while. Oh, yeah. I forgot about Bucky. Yeah, I could see him having a better storyline. I mean, again, like, Captain America just was so boring. It just wasn't. They could have added in a little something, spice it up a little bit. Anyway, but that's just my opinion. I do have a friend who, again, we're talking about girls here, so her favorite is Captain America. She loves Captain America, so I don't know. But I think she likes Captain America, again, more of the visually appealing part. I don't know if it's because of the storyline. I think it all kind of comes together that he's a sweet guy and he's doing this for his country and da 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 da. And she likes, she prefers his look better too. Sharky says, did you know Chris Pine's dad was a sergeant on the TV show Chips back in the 70s, early 80s? I don't even know what that is. I've never heard of Chips, but his dad was in the industry too. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what Chips is. What is Chips about? No, I haven't even heard of that. That was before my time though. I wasn't even born yet. But I watched some older shows. I love some older shows, but I never watched it. I've never even heard of it before. You just mentioned it. Zero is saying Steve Rogers was more interesting when he was the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a minute. Yeah, right? Exactly. Like, the only one, who is it? What is her name? Oh, the Scarlet Witch. I liked her, like her powers were cool, but she didn't really have that much character development in the movies. So I would have liked more out of her too. Like there are some people that they just didn't develop enough, which is kind of weird. So anyway, I didn't mean for this to go into so many different caveats, but it was a cool discussion. I'm glad I get to talk with some folks about this. I can't really talk about this with too many people because not too many of my friends are super into Avengers. I have one friend that's more into Avengers. Again, I have the friend that she likes the movies, but it's more of, like Captain America it's nice looking to her, so she's watching it. But as far as the AI stuff and just where the world is going, I don't really have anyone that I can really talk to about that, especially not for a period of time. They're gonna be like, yeah, whatever. Sharky says CHIPS is short for California Highway Patrol. Oh, it was cool but silly show. It was a cool but silly show based on the real California state motorcycle cops. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Zero said Scarlet Witch was too OP. She literally could change reality with her power. Yeah, she was. Crazy. But they don't even develop her. Kind of like with X-Men Storm, they didn't develop her enough. Like in the movies, Storm couldn't do really anything. All she did was change her eye color and literally create thunderstorms. But like in the comics, she could really do things. She could fly. They never showed her flying. Like what? They didn't do her justice at all in the movies. It's like, what is this? Like, what are you guys doing? Um, yeah, so that was very disappointing. Like, it's really disappointing when they don't do the characters true justice, especially for like powers like Storm. If I had Storm's powers, doing all kinds of stuff. But yeah, they didn't do her right. But you know, I'm not in control. I'm not a producer. I don't produce these movies. But if I could provide feedback, I would totally tell them like, hey, do more character development for these folks and showcase their abilities a bit more to match what we actually know they can do. Anyway, yeah, so that is the video, guys. That is the video. I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully, to just walk through LinkedIn, look at jobs. How do you find jobs? How do you make it an easier process to find jobs versus folks just using Indeed.com all the time or just using Google? So hopefully that will be helpful. Also, I am on TikTok now. If you didn't see in the community tab, I'm on TikTok. My TikTok handle is just Jobs from Jess. Let me put the banner. I forget this sometimes. Wait, is it on there? Nope. Where is my banner? Anyway, Jobs from Jess. Hopefully you guys get it. So if you're on TikTok, definitely add me on there. I'm very, very new to creating my page. I have 2 or 3 videos on there. So if you are on TikTok and you want to be my friend, my handle on there is Jobs from Jess. And then my regular name is just like on Instagram, Miss Jessica Crystal, and then Jobs from Jess is my professional one. So if you're interested in just like my happenings day to day, Miss Jessica Crystal will be what you follow. If you're interested in like job content or other things that I might post there, Jobs from Jess would be the one. So thank you, Edward. Appreciate you. Thank you, Sharky. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks, Zero. All right, guys. Well, have a good night, and I will see you guys tomorrow or see you guys on the next video. Bye, lovely people.